All right, this is TSP number 72. I am Dr. Evil Genius, soon to be joined by Captain Paul. I apologize. I have a desk that is just filled with a lot of shit. And so I'm all fucked up. Anyway, welcome to episode 72. And today we didn't have a specific topic, but rather I wanted to go over some of the topics that we have already discussed here on the channel in video form. So, wow, there's another water bottle here. So many water bottles. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to talk about some of the things that we have had on the channel, and uh, I'm very gung ho to talk about some of the stuff. We had a video on the channel talking about Charleston White. We had a video on the channel talking about somebody that did not really act in any kind of constructive way when he pulled out his camera and filmed himself on TikTok while a man was bleeding out. And then Cap just made a video overnight, which I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. A 17.5-minute video from just Cap? Is this a fake video? Shout out to Thunder. Anyway, so there was a bunch of things that's been going on in the YouTube world and just in the media in general. Also, you had Trump being arraigned yesterday. That was a really crazy situation as well. So I think that a lot of these things deserve some discussion today. All right. So let's start off talking about this whole Sneeko Redemption Act thing. Redemption arc. He's waiting on his PC to stop loading. It'll stop loading when you pull out the ball peen hammer. Okay. So hold on a second. One of the things that Captain Paul was talking about as far as Sneeko is concerned is that he was hoping that as somebody who was more closely associated long before Sneeko became, I guess, successful on YouTube, famous, infamous, he interacted with somebody that was very eager to learn, had a great personality, et cetera, et cetera. And so Cap had a little bit of an issue seeing the difficulties that Sneeko was going through. And a lot of what Cap had to say about that entire situation is this. What he was saying to Moist Critical was a whole bunch of negative things. Just insert any negative term and it works. But I think he came from a place where it's just like, damn, somebody that I'm partial to, like I'm in favor of because of the connection that we've had in the past. It really does suck to see him go this way, and it's going to affect me a little bit differently than it's going to affect other people. And so WrestleMania 39 was just on Sunday. We covered night 2 on Sunday, night 1 on Saturday. And on that second night, there was a wrestler that came out to confront The Miz. Who was that? That was Shane McMahon. Now, for most of you people, you don't really care that Shane really ran out there because we've seen Shane run out there hundreds of times over the years. But it affected me a little bit differently because I've gotten to interact with Shane on a more on a more personal level than many WWE fans have. So when Shane McMahon ran out there and tore his quad, it really fucked me up. It fucked me up because it wasn't just some guy that got injured in the ring. It affected me because as a person that's interacted with Shane, um, to the point where Shane will recognize and greet me whenever he sees me, because I used to train my clients at the gym where I'm not sure if he still works with his trainer there, but at the same gym where he worked with one of his trainers here in New York City. Because of that, I'm a little bit more partial. I care what happens to Shane more than I care about most of the other wrestlers that I don't have any kind of personal connection with on any level. And so, looking at the way that Cap felt about what Sneeko was going through, I think that reasonable people will be able to understand, like, okay, they had a personal connection. He's going to take Sneeko's struggles just a little bit more personally than just some other YouTuber making a goddamn fool of themselves, in which that is what Sneeko did. So, Kat made a video about it, talking about the redemption arc. And I can tell you, as somebody who did not know Sneeko from a hole in the wall, and on behalf of somebody who actually did interact with Sneeko in back channels, somebody who Sneeko was a fan of and kept the poll. I can definitely understand why Cap takes the kind of pride that he does in Sneeko redeeming himself, having the kind of conversation that he had with Moist Critical. And that was a very mature thing for him to do, because one of the things that his sycophants were trying to encourage him to do was to continue to escalate the situation and perhaps maybe even show up at Charlie's house, which probably would have been the end of Sneeko. So I'm glad that situation did not get any worse than it did. I'm glad that somebody got to Sneeko and say, "Hey, man, it's just not how it's going to work." Adjacent to Sneeko, we saw that the Tates were released from jail. We did not. Well, they were released from actual prison bar confinement. They are now relegated to in-home arrest. And we didn't put a video out on it because it really doesn't mean a whole lot of anything. I think that it's probably better that they go on house arrest, because in Romania they do have laws and they do have standards for their their version of due process. And those guys were just in there way too long. I believe that if the authorities had all of the witnesses and the evidence that would support a conviction, they would have brought this and those guys would have been on trial and probably already convicted. So letting them go to house arrest while they continue their investigation, I think, was the right thing to do. Doesn't seem like, I don't pay attention to the guys because I don't like them, but I haven't heard too much said about them since they were released. So when Captain Paul comes back and he shows up, we'll get into that a little bit more. When it came to the TikToker who was doing the whole clout thing, I actually have a different perspective about what happened in Canada when a man was just looking out for the safety and the health of the well-being of his child and received a knife in the midsection for it, or wherever he was stabbed. It was enough to kill him. That's for goddamn sure. Second. Go.
What up?
There he is.
What's going on, man?
I wanted to, kind of give you a little bit of an opportunity to kind of speak on some of these things. Yeah.
I mean, So as for the Sneeko apology thing, right? This is kind of my
Sorry for the technical difficulties, y'all.
yeah. I mean, my computer decided to do a nice update like 5 minutes before going up. But I think when it kind of comes down to it, comes to Sneeko apology. Why I was really happy seeing those two have a conversation. While not everything that came out of Sneeko's mouth did I agree with, it just kind of fostered like, okay, at least he's going to come with a more rational take, and it kind of. I mean, sometimes you need to hit rock bottom to have common sense hit you in the fucking head. And he was living a lifestyle that truly just was not him. I still think he's a little bit diluted with the whole wokeness. And me and you both think some of the pandering stuff goes over the top. But he's obsessed with it. Like, it's too obsessive. And I think he's kind of... What's that?
Is it that he's obsessed with it, or is it that that's a lot of the things that he's covering when he goes online? Do you think that he's constantly thinking about this when he is not in front of a camera?
I mean, from everything I've seen, I mean, maybe it's just a character where he can just flips it on and off, and it doesn't truly bother him. That is possible. That's where I think a lot of these news personalities have most of the time, right? They just play a persona on the TV, and then they just go home and go about their day and not really worry about it. I mean, that's a possibility, but it does seem like at his core, these are some of his beliefs, and he's young, and the thing, and this is the one thing, I don't try to paint a negative brush on anyone at a certain especially when they're younger, because I understand that we're all gonna fuck up and we're all gonna evolve over time. Now I don't know what human being he will eventually turn into in the long term, but quite frankly, I do believe in my core, if he's around the right people, he could go far, and it's unfortunate for me seeing a guy that, was around, worked with, helped a bit at the very, very early stages of his YouTube stuff. Like, it's dope that guy has become so successful, and it's kind of sucks seeing him become a punching bag in a way, right? Not condoning the actions, just
his own doing. Yeah, he became the punching bag though.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. You did the apology, and I mean, we kind of always just kind of keep it moving. What's that?
Were you expecting the apology?
Honestly, no.
I think that's worth talking about, Kat.
I mean, I wasn't expecting the apology because I thought he was at that point where that's all he cared about was a YouTube tough guy persona. I felt like that was all he cared about, was making sure that he would win conversations. And I mean, even in that hour-long conversation, I did watch every single bit of it, and it was long. He still takes casual conversation as like a gotcha moment, and I think that can get a bit tiring.
About Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, exactly like Destiny. And it's just, it's annoying. I hate going into, I would say, disingenuous conversations with the intent of somebody trying to like get you. There's nothing of good value can have there, because if you're going in there with the gotcha moments, you're not necessarily going into that conversation with the best intentions, in my opinion. Exactly. But it's growth. It's good to see him grow. Now, did he grow because, I mean, did he do it because he felt the pressure? I mean, that's obviously gotta.
I don't think so, because that pressure was. I mean, we got almost 300,000 views. The pressure was on.
Yeah.
For a while too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think he just looked at it. Maybe it was just time to change his approach. And you've covered the it's complicated thing, and I know some of his other material. And when he's calm and a little bit more well put together, I feel like it's a far more entertaining listen, instead of him just ramping about the Matrix. If you come in there with good talking points, can back it up with facts, yep, I'm down to listen to that shit all day. But if you're just going to scream about the Matrix is taking over, it just kind of, the good message you're trying to spread gets lost in the sauce in sort of way.
I think when you talk about how Abba and Preach looked at it, I think that they kind of said it best. The dude was sticking a stick in his own bicycle spoke.
100%.
Pointing at the Matrix. You did it, It's like, nah, you did it to yourself. And
yeah,
I think that it's really important to point out all of these self-sabotaging stories, like somebody fucking with random people that you don't know,
Yep.
and then you want to play the victim when you take one in the stomach and send that ice up. Take this ice up for the nicest MC.
Pour one out for the homies, bro. Pour one out. Yeah, man. But I listen. You know what I also found out about that story that I didn't know when we were covering it is he was apparently impersonating a security guard.
I think we had somebody in our comments that, for whatever reason, was deleting their comment like every 15 minutes to fix it or something.
Yeah, it was strange. I appreciate though them coming and checking out, but yeah, it was a little strange. It was kind of a little bit jumbled because I didn't understand what they were saying at first, but yeah. So apparently, like allegedly, they were dressed up, and then this is all going to come out in the wash. But if that is the case, that's actually a felony. You cannot impersonate anyone of authority in Virginia.
No, you can impersonate a security guard. You cannot impersonate a law enforcement officer.
I think in Virginia, when I was looking it up, it's like a person of authority that you can't.
Nobody thinks that security guards have authority. They're running.
Have you never watched Paul Blart, the mall cop?
Paul Blart?
Paul Blart?
Like, I looked at it and I was just like, that's a waste of everybody's time. I'm steering far clear of that. No, thank you.
I mean, obviously,
wait. Let me see if I can say it the white Captain Paul way. I'm all set.
Yeah, what's up, bro? I'm all set. I mean, there you go. I mean, listen, you're trans white now. Welcome to the crowd. But
I feel myself getting paler and sicker by the second. Wombo Watson, how you doing? Wombo,
what's up, Wombo? What's going on, bro?
Our latest videos. We are kind of recapping some of these things. We're talking about dumbasses, and the thing is, we had somebody in our comment section, Cap. That was one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this, talking about karma. Oh, yeah, I better hope that something like this doesn't happen to you. And it's like, hello, do you know how we stay out of the karma? Because that's what that guy got. He got the karma.
Yeah.
You know how we stay out of it? We don't fuck with random people we don't know.
No.
That's how we avoid people pulling guns on us in the mall.
No, it's so fucking stupid. I mean, it's just absolutely fucking stupid. And I think when it kind of comes down to it, the dad came out like, I can't believe this happened. I'm like, well, maybe raise your fucking kids better. Like, if that happened with me, my dad beat the brakes off me. Like, are you kidding? And, this dude gets shot in the fucking stomach. I'm gonna do it again. Yeah, you know what, bro? I don't care. You're a statistic at that point. You get shot and ventilated again and penetrated unwillingly. I don't care.
Yo.
I don't care. No, it's just, I'm tired of these fucking idiots that were like, because this is the same fucking dude will put on a shirt. Like, oh, he's such a good kid. Well, he gets like his brains blown out because he fucked around and found out. The thing is, you don't know that person's mental state. You don't know how they are that day. Right?
Which is the worst father? John Morant's father or this guy's?
It's close. I mean, like, I'll say this, right? At least this dude isn't like dancing, waving guns with his son. So I'll say that. I'll give him that slide of credit. But I mean, let's be real. This is fucking cringe.
One's waving the guns. The other one's getting the guns waved at him.
Dude,
you know what? I'd have to side with John Morant's father being the better father. At least his son is doing the gun waving. He's not having the gun pointed at him.
Yo. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Think about the national sports tragedy that would have occurred if that kid would have played that prank on John Morant.
Yo, it's just a prank, bro. It just gets all fucking ventilated by John Morant, and then he gets like life in prison.
I was about to make a Pistol Pete Maravich joke.
Yo, Pistol.
I think I probably should not do that.
You should. Maybe for Loti. But I think when it kind of comes down to it, man, is we need to make child beatings great again. And like we need to like legit start fucking beating our children when they're disobeying. I don't
that shit, Cap. Your fucking dear leader. They didn't even put handcuffs on him or a mugshot.
Listen, he ain't my fucking leader.
Arrest in the history of the world.
Listen. he took a thing from Reagan. Reagan made that great. So let's relax here, all right? He stole
crime, man.
Yeah.
34 felony counts. Did you know that he can run his campaign from inside a prison cell?
Yes,
I
no,
did not find that out until yesterday.
You didn't know that? No, there's only three precursors that you have to
you have to be here.
You have to be here. You have to be over 35.
Yeah.
Like you had to live here for over 12 years. You had to.
I think it's 13 or 14.
No, it's 12, I believe. And then you have to be a U.S. citizen, like a national-born U.S. citizen. You had to be over the age of 35. That's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
everybody's trying to go at Obama, and it's like, hello.
I mean, but I'm gonna see how. Listen, I'm gonna see how this shit plays out because that's just how I am. And if the dude's guilty, dude's fucking guilty. I don't really give a fuck either way. But I mean, there's been indictments. I mean, obviously that amount looks bad. But we here on this shit, I've also said in the past, there's been a lot of accusations, and they all turn out to be false. So I'm all about. Yeah. I mean, I'm all about just waiting and seeing.
When they go that far and they connect all of the dots and all, because the people bringing the charges. Those are the guys that do like all the white collar crime stuff.
Oh, because it's white, right? That's ridiculous.
No, because of financial crimes.
I'm fucking with you.
Because only white people have access to finances. So that's why they call it white collar crimes. Right?
Relax.
Because your skin is so white and the collar still looks clean when you take it off at the end of the day.
Listen, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just the type of person, I want the fucking evidence. That's why I want the whole flight book released from the Epstein stuff. Like I want everything released. I think the public needs to know that shit, because if it was Trump, Clinton, whoever it was, bro, like put him out back and like old Yeller and put it down. That's just my opinion. But I mean,
we're gonna get all the hate from the conservatives. Even though you mentioned the Clintons too, we're gonna get all the hate from the conservatives.
I don't really care because I'm talking that shit. But let's be real. Talking about this prank channel, let's just talk about child rearing here, right? Back in the day, when your kid disobeyed, you used to be able to hey, a little belt action. Adrian Peterson, right, got demonized for hitting his kid with a switch, right?
Child Protective Services was on that ass. Did he spend a little while in jail?
He did. And listen, I'm not saying to take a baseball bat to your kid's knees and be like, yo, you ain't making the league now, kid. But I mean, a little bit of a spanking.
Make the kid do 3-point tackling drills against him.
Yeah,
with no pads or helmet.
That would have been a dope punishment.
That ass.
Do Omaha drills with his 5-year-old. Just imagine, all right, I'm But I think this generation is too soft. They don't understand that there is consequences for their actions. You need to find out. And it's just weird. The dude gets shot in the gut and he's like, "Oh, I'm still going to do it." I have no sympathy.
Man, I think he's going to rethink that. I think that there's just a little bit of bravado in the moment. I think he's going to rethink that because what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? He's going to have a bunch of nights where he's going to wake up in a cold sweat because he's going to continue to keep seeing the barrel of that gun pointed at him, being whipped out. He's going to replay that in his head over and over and over and over and over again. He's gonna be like, you know what, this shit ain't worth it. I better do a political commentary channel or something.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's got 40,000 subscribers and yada yada yada.
That much to be putting your life on the line. I know that you disagree. Bro. You thought that he had a good following. I mean, compared to us, obviously 40,000 is better than 2,300. And thank you guys for that because we're not there without you guys. But I don't think 40,000. I don't think 400,000 subscribers is enough to risk having somebody, put 2 on my abdomen and tell me to take this ice up for the night.
I mean, bro, let's be real, dog. You got a fucking nice hot fucking meal once a month on that money you make from 40,000 subscribers. You're good. You don't need a real job. Nah, but I don't know. I think. You're probably right. I think a lot of it's bravado because of the situation, but it's still stupid to say.
His father just seemed like such a beta male cuck. Like somebody forcibly penetrated his son's belly. And he's like, I don't harbor any ill will for him. I mean, I think that logically you should not harbor ill will because your son got what he paid for.
Yeah. He won the all-time Darwin. Darwinism award.
I'm pretty sure if you go right now to try to interview his wife, you'll just hear like grunts and groans while in the background. Like, sorry, my wife can't come out right now. She's indisposed.
What the fuck?
You
What the
know?
fuck?
Hashtag the cuckening.
What else were we
He
talking?
just sounded like a fucking wimp. He sounds like his son beats the shit out of him and mushes him in the forehead every morning.
Maybe. I mean,
Calls him a little
yeah,
bitch.
you know what? He looked older, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He looked older. That's what I think it was. Like he looked like he was in his 70s or 80s. That's what it looked like.
That kid is in what, his early 20s?
Yeah, he's early 20s. I think that like he looked older in the video I saw. So, I mean, maybe he just doesn't have the fucking energy anymore. Maybe he's just like, well, you know, and that could be a part of it. And maybe he's just at the point of frustration where it's like, you know, I can't, you know, I don't know.
I remember some guy, I'm not going to say who it was, but some guy like threatened me through a voicemail, and my dad was like, listen, I'm going to die soon anyway. I'm taking that motherfucker with me straight to hell. Like, and you know, my dad is in bad health, and my dad is just like, yo, I will use the last little bit of time. This sand timer, I'm gonna break it. There's only a couple of grains of sand left in it, but I'm gonna break it and take that motherfucker out. Talking about he's gonna do this and that to my son. What? So I don't buy it. I don't buy, you know, the energy thing. Somebody put one in your child's belly button, son.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck?
I just listen. I just think it's hard for me to feel bad for a fucking idiot. It just really is. And these prank channels, and you can clip this. These prank channels, if you bug people in public, harass them, bother people you don't know, and you fuck around and find out, like that's all on you. And yes, make child beating great again. I'm gonna make a hat. We'll sell it at merch because I legitimately think these kids need to get beat again. Like, quite frankly, like there's nothing wrong with a little spanking, you know, a little punishment. Like, hey, you act like a little fucking shit, like a little spanking, and they go about their way. I'm not saying like fucking RKO the motherfucker, but
hey man, sometimes a RKO out of nowhere.
But quite frankly, these kids are so fucking crazy these days because they realize, oh shit, that's why you need fathers in the home. And like the government needs to stay out of family business. First, like, you know, they want to get involved in kids' lives and like fucking try to pump on all type of drugs. Mm-hmm. I'm all set with that. But yeah, let's.
I'll say this. How about this? If we can't make child beating great again, can we get rid of SBMM in Call of Duty? I think that would help.
Skill-based. Yo, what do you want those old school Call of Duty lobbies, like the disgusting toxic?
Just fucking reaming those kids with bullets, like,
dude. I wonder if
force them to get it out the mud. What the real struggle is, because that kid does not look like he has struggled with anything, and that's another thing too. This is something that Joe Rogan has talked about, and it's a theory that I largely agree with. I think that a lot of times people are looking for conflict because their lives are too easy.
Yeah,
and so when you look at the prankers, a lot of the pranksters, very, very few of them are black that came from bad places. Well, because we don't, you know, very few of them are like, you know, trailer trash white kids that went through like real shit. You know, you're talking about the most privileged, and they're out there just trying to find some sort of friction in the world because of all the privilege they have. Not saying that the privilege they have is bad, but I just think that they get bored. They get bored with not having any real problems.
I mean, I think there's a little bit of that, and I think most of it's parenting though. Like I grew up in a very comfortable
no problems and no friction, no chores to do, no jobs to have. You didn't make him earn their allowance.
I mean, but dude, I was afraid of my dad at like very young age. Like it just like, you know, if I fucked up, I knew there'd be consequences for those actions.
He worked with ropes for a living, right? His hands must be like 8 times the width of mine.
What's that?
So your dad's hands must be like 8 times the width of mine. The guy is like handling heavy ropes on boat.
Yeah, man. Listen, like my dad had a temper. Like I got that fucking honestly, and
Now
you
we
know
know why
it.
you have a temper, because y'all worked on boats with dumbasses. But anyway, not going to go there.
But I think sometimes a straight punch in the mouth solves the issues. But I think when it kind of comes down to it, is it teaches discipline, quite frankly, and I think that's I just it's weird because I feel like we've embraced this soft culture, at least in the U.S. We just have our kids doing the most wild shit because there's like, oh, Tommy, you're going to be okay. It's okay. You want to get some ice cream? Yeah, you shot up the school, but, you didn't mean it. You're a good kid. Like, fuck off.
Move. Hey, you shot up a church full of nice black people that treated you really nice in the church. Let's go get you some Burger King. You're hungry.
I mean, and I actually kind of worry about, and I know this conversation has divulged into other topics, and I apologize, but I actually worry about this, like my generation raising kids, because I see a lot of parents just throwing screens in front of their kids' faces and be like, oh, fucking you go do that and I'll go do my own thing, and not really truly raising their kids, like not taking them to a park, not like helping them learn a sport or like maybe even arts or music, something of that nature. Mm-hmm. And they're letting technology raise their kids at like an all-time high now.
Yeah, the parents are stressed out because the mother can't stay home and actually nurture the children because she wants to be a strong, independent woman that has her career. And then who's left to raise the kids? Social media, games, other digital stuff,
movie, music,
political commentators, with their, hey kid, would you like to take these hormones and become somebody else?
Hey kids, do you like violence? But like, no, I think when it kind of comes down to it, like I've even seen that. Like as you know, my sister worked as a nanny, and like the fucking mother didn't know how to change a diaper, like physically didn't know how to change it. I'm like, yo, you're not a mom, bro. Like you're like that kid's not a child to you. It's swag, right? It's like a hat. It's like fucking like it's an accessory. Like you don't know how to change a diaper. Like that's embarrassing. Like what? Like fuck. Like I'm all set with that shit. Like that's crazy. I'm just done. That's fucking wild. I know we got to do a little bit shorter of a show because you got big time things to do.
Yeah, but I also wanted to talk about the clout chasing thing. So I wanted to kind of play a little bit of a devil's advocate because you brought up a lot of good points about the inaction that went on when the guy was stabbed. So I just kind of wanted to bring a little bit of different nuance because I think that the easy thing to do would be like, well, somebody's being stabbed and you should intervene so this guy doesn't get stabbed. Number one, if somebody is giving someone the old prison house special, the last thing you should be doing is to try to get in between the person and that blade, because chances are you're going to get the blade and then that person's going to get the blade. And now we got two people stabbed to death. Yeah. You never want to put yourself in front of a blade unless there's a child. And I know that, we're very RP aware here on this platform. But if it's a woman, I think that maybe you try to do something to try to distract guys if the guy's getting jumped or something. I don't know. But generally, it's a bad idea to try to jump in front of a blade or trying to disarm somebody. It's just generally a bad idea.
Yeah,
just not a good idea.
I mean, listen, I'll push back a little bit on that. I'm not saying like, yo, let me fucking, I have Juggernaut Pro on. I'm just gonna jump in there and get shanked. What I'm saying is like, instead of just doing, it's a selfie, call the cops. Call the cops.
Yeah, definitely.
Make the fucking phone call. And if you don't have hands like that, I get that. I'm just saying for me in a personal situation where I've been stabbed and I've had situations, I've been at gunpoint for fuck's sake. Like I kind of handled myself differently. I'm not saying him to do the same thing, but I'm being very fucking blunt here. Yeah, he's dead, bro. He's dead. Like what? Like what does that accomplish? Like you're a fucking clown. And he got all the fucking negative vitriol because all he wanted to do was have a Logan Paul moment where he's filming himself with a dead body so he goes viral. He doesn't give a fuck about a dad and a fucking a fiance that like lost his life, right? Like now that daughter is not going to have a fucking father. They're not going to get married. So now she's going to be raised in a single parent fucking household. And that's going to affect her for the rest of the life, right? Because yeah, single moms are, they can do a lot, but let's be honest, they cannot replace the role of a father in the home.
It's
They just
much,
can't.
much worse when the husband is killed.
Yep.
She's gonna be living with that trauma, even if she remarries. She's gonna be living with that trauma forever.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, we're like, like this is my take on it. That guy stabbed him. Just don't arrest him. Boom, back of the head bullet. Call it a fucking day.
But it's Canada,
it's just,
man.
It's crazy. Yeah. Like, some people don't deserve to live. I mean that. Like, some people do not deserve to live in this world.
That dude is a massive, massive piece of ocean plastic around the neck of a turtle garbage.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean,
holy crap! Just a piece of
garbage.
There are no words. There are no words. I have no words for that. But I will say that the guy that took the video. I read his body language and the fact that he kept like repeating the same, simple phrase over and over again. That kid was in shock. And so for me, I want to judge the guy completely, but it's obvious that the dude was in shock, and people don't do rational things all the time. I think that, when it comes to fight or flight, which everybody fight or flight kicked in when they saw this. Some people are going to spring into action like you, and certain people are just going to be stuck and be stammered in a freeze mode.
Yeah.
But also, I thought that it was possible. I'm not saying that this is the case, but I thought it was possible that he wanted to get kind of things documented for one or both of these reasons. One, he's like, I saw this happen. They're probably going to call me in to court. During the trial. And then the other thing is if the guy knows that I am filming right now and he's on camera with all of these witnesses, that would seal his fate. And maybe because I'm holding this camera, he won't stab me too.
I mean, okay, the first argument in getting court evidence, that definitely wasn't going through that dude's mind. Because it just wasn't. And I mean, maybe in some galaxy brain move, maybe. Second, if you are truly in fear of your life, you wouldn't be like, take a selfie. Let me take a selfie. Get right close to this guy where the dead body just is. This guy's only like a few feet away. You'd be fucking booking it down the fucking sidewalk. You would be getting the fuck out of there if it was truly afraid of your life. That, at least in my opinion, like if it's a fight or flight situation, you're fighting that motherfucker, or you're running down the street getting the fuck out of there.
Freeze. Freeze is also part of that response.
But he didn't freeze.
Right.
He moved himself closer to the situation. So I can't say he froze. Like you can't say he froze. He literally just like this, and this is just how it looks to me. He looked at it as a moment to go viral, and he posted it. Like what? Like, because that's another thing. Why post that online? If he was so concerned,
they're just gonna take that off anyway because it shows actual violence. It's not even gonna go viral.
But dude, the thing is we both know when it's on the internet, it's forever. Because people are gonna download that, share that's on the internet forever, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. And
wow, more trauma for the wife.
Yeah, exactly. So, and what I'm saying is, he could have just kept that private and shared that with the cops, correct?
Fucking kid.
He could have shared that with the cops, but what did he do? He posted online. He didn't care about that family. He didn't care about what was going on. It wasn't because he was traumatized. He uploaded it, and he didn't give a shit. And that's it's like, I don't feel bad for that dude getting flack. And quite frankly, to me, we can disagree. I view him as a piece of shit.
So what you're in effect saying is you wish that he was a prankster YouTuber.
Exactly. No, I do. Like,
yo, Admin Preach, they went fire and brimstone.
Yeah,
I even commented on their video about the prankster thing. I was like, people were wishing death on us in our comment section because we said that he got what he bargained for, and you motherfuckers are out there like, yo, If he does it a second time, we hope he gets shot again. I'm like, God damn!
Yo.
Like you guys went
Wait.
scorch on him.
Yo, do we actually get any bad comments on our video?
Yeah, we did that. We got one dude talking about karma, and I'm like, do you know that what happened was karma? Like, what are you talking about? The dude said, you best pray that you and your loved ones never get shot because karma's a bitch. And I'm like, do you know why our odds of that happening are low?
Wait.
Talk with people we don't know. That's the moral of the story. Your karma was an instant bitch for this buffoon who got shot.
I mean, I think did he delete his comment? Because I'm trying to look here.
It's you have to make sure that.
I see it.
Yeah. It's just like, damn, yo, like, can you not? Whatever, yo, whatever. I'm all set.
Yo, you best pray you and your loved ones never get shot because karma's a bitch, bro. You got to be smoking the strongest dope in the world if you actually believe
legal
that.
In a lot of places now, so.
I mean, shut the fuck up, karma. Come on, dude. Like this is the thing, right? And this is the funny part is when people make their comments, bro. I have a fucking Tavor and a fucking knife. Like I have a bunch of fucking weapons, right? Do I get shot?
No. Have your gun shot anybody?
No.
Haven't had to.
Because I don't put myself in that situation. You carry yourself a certain way. Because like earlier in the video, so I got held at gunpoint. That was when I was 16 years old at Slater Park in fucking Pawtucket. Like I was a kid.
Happens in white sounding places. Wow.
No, that was Slater Park. Like at the night with the fucking basketball court. It was not good. No, it was not a good area to be in.
Chirac? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I guess for the Rhode Island version of it, maybe, but not like it's nowhere as bad as that. But
we're tough. We're gangsters. We're thugs.
And then obviously the whole stabbing situation. But like that was stuff when I was younger, and then as you get older, and like you just got to carry yourself with a little bit more grace and fucking professionalism. Like you don't bug people you don't know. Like I have all kinds of weapons I can carry, and I never have problems. I don't start shit with anyone. Yeah. What's that old saying by that president? Speak calmly but walk with a big stick or some shit like that.
I think it has something to do with what the package you signed for at birth. Now, before we go off the air, I want to talk about this whole thing with the Bud Light video. I really want to get into this because I think that it is important for us. Wow, we lost 2 subscribers off of the Bud Light video.
I don't think I was that bad, did I?
You were very measured. You were very measured on this. But anyway, I want to kind of go into it a little bit here. The video, I think that Phrases actually had a decent response. Blind Bad was talking about them shoving the trans agenda in our faces, which they are doing. It's just that maybe that wasn't happening in this case, at least not intentionally. And this is where I'm going to side with. I ran out of phrases. So he says, I'm confused on what's being shoved down whose throat here, though. Bud Light sent beer to someone. You'd only hear about that situation if you follow Mulvaney, which in that case, you are actively subscribing to trans life. Otherwise, it's just the obnoxious far right-leaning news sources versus the far left-leaning news sources that are talking about this. So I guess I'd blame whichever news source brought this to your attention and reconsider listening to them. So then I responded and I said, should I have to agree with your premise in theory, knowing the platform, TikTok, we know that they don't just allow the post to just go to the followers of the content creators. They put that shit on the front page and blast it out to everyone. TikTok isn't like Twitter where you can lock your posts for only followers to see, but I thought that he made very valid points. So I do believe that that Drew actually has a decent point this one time on that. I think that it wasn't like Bud Light took Mulvaney and then put this Mulvaney
But
person up there during a sporting event and say buy our bacterial urine to drink, and here's this person.
but
You
if
know that it tends not to know. And this is the thing that really pisses me off, Cap. I definitely have to say this. This Mulvaney person is one of the fakest people in the world
yeah, it's true.
because I was talking to my client about it. He was like, he didn't even want to touch the subject. But I asked him, I said, let me ask you something. I just want to ask you this question. All the women in your lives, think about every woman that you know in your life. How many of them don't know what March Madness is? He said, none of them. I rest my case. So this is that weird shit. And the thing is, I know you don't like the Indian Jesus, but the Indian Jesus just did this really great live stream where he was reviewing a video where it was people who transition versus people who detransition. They were having this roundtable conversation. And one of the guys that detransitioned made the case that, it is not that these people who claim to be trans are trans, is that they are trying to copy the tropes and the stereotypes of what they think womanhood is, what they think femininity is. They're just copying the behaviors they see girls and women espouse.
Listen, to the
I'm gonna pretend that I don't know what March Madness is. See, I'm such a girl. That is so disingenuous.
all right, so
Everybody of both sexes know what March Madness is.
all right, so this is what I gotta say, right? So Drew, if you watch my video, I kind of fucking. That's the weird part about losing 2 subs there. I'm not bashing either side. I just think they're both kind of goofy, with this type of shit.
Yeah. Especially the right wing side. I thought the right wing side was more goofy this time.
Oh no, it was 100%. It was 100% more goofy. Like, who buys a whole fucking few cases of Bud Light to go shoot them with an MP5? I'm
Remember
like,
when they burned all their Nikes? Remember that? Because Colin Kaepernick was like, "Yeah, I'm still against police brutality," and now Nike is against police brutality. Let's burn all the Nikes.
but I think this is the problem. Is people will only hear what I've noticed. People only hear what they want to hear out of the video.
That's true.
And I can say the most measured fucking takes, but if I do not 100% agree with you, they take that as a slight. Yeah. And that's not what this platform is built off of. Like, I'm not built off of placating your ideology. I'm just telling you how I feel. Now, I could be incorrect with how I feel or how I fucking think on a subject, right?
To challenge us on it before you fucking unsubscribe, because this is the platform where we told you that we're here to have the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no problem with having these continual conversations with Drew. My only problem with Drew, and I would just say this publicly, and I hope it doesn't take this wrong, is it's the same stuff over and over again. Like the same exact talking points. But I'm talking about something slightly different. Like, he's like, because he added me, shove people down. I didn't say shove down people's throats in the comment section. What I'm saying in the video is like, dude, this stuff pushed down people's throats. Like, people get tired of it. And it's like,
but it's true. The thing is that they're overrepresented in public discourse, social media, and traditional media. They're overrepresented. They're like 0.3% of the population. But all of this talk, and you can blame the right wingers for this partially too.
No, actually, I'll be honest with you.
Probably mostly.
Actually, no. The problem is it's target videos, right? They find the most unhinged people on either side, and they'll target them, and then they'll big them up like that's the mainstream representation of the left or the right, right? That's exactly what they do. Because Mulvaney, whatever the fuck their name is, right. They were getting mocked on Daily Wire videos like months ago, right?
Right.
And I've seen the same thing on TYT with other gun people that are fucking unhinged, right. And they'll get the weirdo, just this one weirdo, right? And they'll try to make that as a representation of the whole side. And that's why, like, that's the one thing I have to argue with Drew. Well, yes, I have right-leaning videos. I went to TYT to watch their take on it. Now,
Right.
if I was
And you gave
not,
them a lot of leeway too.
I was giving them a lot of leeway, and that's the funniest part. I even agreed with a few points they were making. Like, yeah, no, that is kind of goofy. He buys a Bud Light cases and shoots it. That's goofy. And the problem is that because I'm not 100% lockstep of pumping hormones down fucking 15 or 16-year-olds,
Or 5 and 6-year-olds.
yeah, like because I'm not fine with that, there's going to be that weird angle. And he keeps referencing studies, but every single study from actual legitimate medical fucking centers that are backed up by statistics counter what he's saying. And you know, I'm not trying to belabor the point. You can Google yourself. It is a fucking scientific. It is a fact at this point. 80% of the trans population has suicidal ideation. Suicidal ideation. I can't speak right now. I'm sorry. Suicidal thoughts.
That's how you know that the show is coming to an end.
I know. I'm sorry. If 40%, 40% try to commit the act. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that that's like a good thing or that's normal.
Just thinking that you're in the wrong body, that is a state
That's
of mental anguish, period.
Absolutely.
Period. And the thing is, you know, when you listen to people who have detransitioned, and even some people who stuck with their transition, they say, you know, I felt uncomfortable in my body, and I still feel uncomfortable in my body. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, but
like,
you know how many people that have transitioned, 40%, that like there's like there'll be media darlings, right? Social media stars, quote unquote.
Suffering behind closed doors.
Yeah, and there's that one. I think it was Southwest flight attendant, that was transgender that ended up, you know, offing themselves, and they were wildly successful, right?
Yeah.
So there's something not right there, whether you want to acknowledge that or not, and. You know, right now, even transit, that's not the answer either. So, I mean, it's just hard. Like, I like Drew. I think he's a good dude comes from good intentions.
He also is really consistent. You know, he's not
Yeah,
wishy-washy. I wish that there would be some times where he would accept some new information and then kind of rework it and see if there is anything that needs adjustment. But for the most part, I respect the hell out of the fact that he, you know, he sticks to his guns and what he believes in. I just, you know, I'm actually going to find the original video. Hopefully, he put this in the description. I'm going to send this video to if he didn't. It's Jubilee. It's a Jubilee video, so I have to go to their channel. Indian Jesus, man, if you're watching, I'm going to need you to put the link to the original video that you cover when you cover them, please.
But like, listen, like I said, I have no problem with Drew because I just looked at his comment. He keeps bringing up AP News and all this stuff. Like, dude, I'm going to the medical journals.
Right.
For my,
yeah.
I'm not going to articles. I can state and poll fucking anyone, right? And that's why some of these elections never really make sense, right? Because they're like, oh, well, this poll and they lost. I'm like, yeah, because you're polling, which it gives you a decent idea, but doesn't give you 100% facts. I'm going to medical journals that are very thorough with their research. I'm not going to a fucking AP News article. And while AP is pretty respected in a lot of ways, like, I'm going to go to the medical professionals with that. And if you can link me updated, new information proving me wrong, I hope I would love to be wrong, but just looked up the other fucking week, 80 and 40%. And, you know, that's why I had my stance on that other issue with the Nashville situation, which me and you don't agree on, which I'm fine with, but...
What do you mean? What do we not agree with?
We had a discussion about the Nashville where I believe transgender people, because of their mental state, I don't think they're equipped to handle firearms. And you disagreed because you
by default, right? So by default, but the thing is that part of me agrees with you because, like you said, like to even be in that position in the first place, like for instance, like I gave the example of people who have that brain rewiring where they think that parts of their
right,
body don't belong to them,
right,
right? And we're talking about parts that don't have to do with the penis and breast, right?
right, right,
That they
right.
think they'll belong to them. Well, uh, would you want to give that person a gun that is walking around saying, my left leg, my lower left leg doesn't belong to me?
Right.
Right. So I
Right.
definitely agree with you. But at the same time, where I disagree is if we say, if you're in mental anguish, then you can't have guns. Then you're going to find a way to keep guns out of everybody's hands. And then the Second Amendment doesn't have any power.
No, and that's where I actually do agree with you. I understand your reasoning, right? I don't even disagree with that. I think personally that there should be absolutely zero infringement on the Second Amendment, and every citizen should arm themselves. My opinion. There should be no mag restrictions because, like, when I get robbed, you only have three. You can only have a 3-bullet magazine. Criminals ain't gonna give a fuck about that. They're just gonna blow your fucking head off.
Yeah.
You know, like when I'm in a situation, there should be no infringement. If I want to have a goddamn tank, let me live the American dream. But when it kind of comes down to it, I agree with you on principle. It's just unfortunate though. We are in a state in society where everyone is so drugged up, and this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like a lot of the issues that we face is the former generations or generations that come before us being heavily medicated, doing heavy drugs, and the drug culture that we see today. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it's kind of
people are like, hey, let me go do some drugs.
I mean,
No.
like it's deteriorating the mental state of society, in my opinion. You know, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people can call me a fucking anti-hire. I don't know what you'd call it, but I think we both agree. I think putting foreign substances in your body that essentially change your mental state or make you inhibited in a way, I don't want to mess with. That's why, like, if I drink, it's like one beer and that's it, right? Like, I don't drink to get drunk.
Right.
If I don't smoke, like it's it's not something. What's that?
Is it Bud Light?
Is it Bud Light? Definitely not Bud Light. If I do drink, it's actually usually Belgian white. So.
I just wanted to bring it back full circle before we close.
I know.
I've never had alcohol, and I have no interest in it whatsoever.
I'll just say this: if you're gonna have alcohol, Bud Light's the shittiest choice. They could probably.
I just have no.
I mean, they could probably transition into a better beer, but.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
So.
Wow, that was a bar. That was a bar. I think that on that note, it's time to do some housekeeping. I just thought that you did a really great job in covering it. It's just that the thing is, I just don't like the disingenuousness of pretending that you don't know that institutional cultural icons you're going to pretend that you don't know they exist because that's what you think women do.
Yeah.
And everybody knows what March Madness is. Everybody knows what sport it's attached to. And that's the thing where I look at this Dylan Mulvaney character and I say you're just a character. If you have to count how many days you've been, So, guys, Talking Shit Podcast, LLC at gmail.com. TALKINSHITBODCASTLLC at gmail.com. If there's anything that you'd like us to cover and you're not going to be a fucking bitch and then run and unsubscribe because you don't particularly like the percentage of agreement that we have with you, then, that kind of thing,
Yep.
Do that. If you want to see me, drive around, the weather is getting better. I actually drove with the top down yesterday. I might even do like a Mets opening day stream because I'll be at City Field for opening day tomorrow, so that's going to be exciting. YouTube.com/@ dr_evil_genius. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. I use it infrequently, but occasionally I say things that I think are funny or insightful.
Or
Also on
bigoted.
Twitter, you can catch us there at talkin_sh_t. If you haven't done so already, if you're watching on Twitch, which is that godforsaken platform that I really wish we were not streaming on anymore, come on over to YouTube, youtube.com/@ TALKINSHIT. And of course, if you're not able to send a super chat our way or to give us a super thanks on our videos, one of the things that you can thank us in a super way is to like, share, and subscribe. It would really be helpful for us here on the platform. This was Rumbo's first live. We have a lot of these going on.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot. We have a lot of videos. We gotta I released the Bud Light. We have another video already recorded and done.
Oh yeah, talking about this guy, this racist predator guy. Yeah, we're gonna be releasing that soon too.
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we may even do well, we can't. Well, I don't know. Maybe an evening live stream tomorrow. We might do another TSP, maybe number 73 tomorrow. Also, we're going to be recording Low T. So the link to our Patreon is down in the description. We got a lot of stuff we can't say on YouTube is all the way over there in the Patreon. A lot of and Sunny Day shows up late. We already discussed this. Yeah, so the Patreon is where you guys want to be. There's some things that are too spicy to upload on YouTube. In fact, we actually had
We had to take down a video.
Yeah, we had to actually take down a video on the platform because it was
It got a little too
bit
spicy. Yeah.
So definitely go check out our Patreon if you haven't done so already. Some of our exclusive content, we were not actually going to do this for the $2 a month, but we decided, the too spicy for YouTube videos that we originally uploaded on YouTube, and then we're like, we can't put this on YouTube. You will find that at the $2 a month noob level. At the $5 a month level for the shitters, you will find half of our Low T show. You don't want to miss those. And of course, at the dog water level, the $10 a month level, you will get all exclusive content that we have in the pipeline and stuff that is already up. So we hope that you guys will check that stuff out. I have to go and deliver fitness to the masses, and by the masses, I mean one person who's living in Colorado. And much love to everybody that supports our platform. If you're new here, thank you so much. We will do everything that we can to do right by you guys and your subscription. We will not always agree with you, but we will allow you to voice your opinions here. So, anything else you want to say, Cap?
I'm gonna get my Ampere 5 and shoot me some Bud Light like Kid Rock.
Yeah, and that's what that is. Yeah.
That's